We're both hoping that we could get the right to see my daughter.
John ended up in America in 1971, sort of by accident. It originally came out of his attempts to help Yoko get back Yoko's daughter, Kyoko, who had disappeared with her father, Yoko's second husband, Tony Cox.
Despite little contact with his son Julian, John did not hesitate to devote a lot of time and money to the search for Kyoko. During a bitter custody battle, the little girl was taken underground by her father, who was living a life on the run in a religious cult. Mother and daughter did reunite in 1994. 1971, Richard Nixon's president. In upstate New York, a riot at Attica prison claims 40 lives. With a temporary visa, John and Yoko rented this apartment on Bank Street in Greenwich Village.
John Lennon loved New York. He adopted it as his home. He spoke about the sensibility of New Yorkers, how down-to-earth they were, how real they were.
It's the greatest place on earth, and if this was Rome, I want to live in Rome, not in Wales.
There was a degree of privacy that he could have in New York. Of course, then he made himself very public by allying himself to radical causes and attracting the displeasure of the American government.
The early 1970s were a whirlwind of activity. Besides making new music, Lennon was very vocal in his support of the anti-war movement.
I read somewhere that the war movement was over.
He befriended radicals including Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin.
The Immigration Service and the FBI and these other agencies thought he was a subversive, and to a large degree he was, of course.
These recently declassified documents illustrate how the government was focused on throwing John Lennon out of the country. And it was that 1968 British drug conviction that was one of the tools.
There's nothing John and Yoko can do to this country that would do it any harm at all.
He had the media and the American public squarely behind him. This was a losing battle that the government was fighting, but it still carried on a very long time.
Still immersed in their legal battle, John and Yoko traded downtown for uptown in 1973. They moved into New York's legendary Dakota building. The Dakota was situated at the corner of West 72nd Street and Central Park West. And their new neighbors included actress Lauren Bacall and composer Leonard Bernstein. But despite outward appearances, all was not well in the Lennons' marriage.
There was an impasse between John and Yoko. What caused it, I don't know, but there came a time where something wasn't working, and Yoko suggested that John go to Los Angeles. And he did.
Life in Los Angeles was a disaster. When he wasn't in drug-addled sessions with producer Phil Spector, recording an album of 50s oldies entitled Rock and Roll, most of his time was spent carousing in clubs like the Troubadour, where he was ejected for drunken behavior.
It was a low point in his life. He drank too much. If there is anything negative that I could say about my old pal, John Lennon was a lousy drinker.
Although his former assistant May Pang had become his girlfriend, Yoko remained foremost in his mind.
His only wish and his only desire was to get back to the only woman he ever loved in his life, which was Yoko Ono.
I really, really needed to be with her and could not literally survive without her. I just went to pieces.
Intent on getting back with Yoko, John returned to New York and the couple finally reconciled in January of 1975. It became a year of good news. Yoko became pregnant, and their son Sean was born on John's 35th birthday, October 9th. That same day, John learned that he'd finally won his immigration battle. This time, he would choose family over career.
I didn't really think about music at all. My guitar was sort of hung up behind the bed, literally.
He actually said to me, he said, look, for the first time in my life, I don't have